All right, we're about to dive into one of the strangest stories in the history of espionage. This is a top-secret CIA program that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a cartoon, but for a time, it was horrifyingly real.
I mean, just think about that question for a second. It sounds like a joke, right? But for a brief, truly bizarre period during the Cold War, the CIA was asking this question with a completely straight face.
So to understand how we even get to spy cats, you really have to put yourself back in the 1960s. The Cold War. It wasn't just some political standoff. No, it was this atmosphere of intense paranoia. The US and the Soviet Union were in this global chess match, where information, that was the ultimate prize.
And in that kind of high-stakes world, intelligence agencies on both sides were just desperate for any little advantage they could get. They were pushing the limits of technology, ethics, and, well, frankly, common sense. No idea was considered too out there if it might give them an edge.
You see, the CIA was grappling with a classic spy problem. Let's say you need to know what two Soviet officials are talking about on a park bench. A human agent? Too obvious. A hidden microphone? They'd expect that, and they'd sweep for it. You need something that can get close, something that nobody would ever suspect. And their solution had this deceptively cute name, Project Acoustic Kitty. The plan was as audacious as it sounds, to surgically alter a regular house cat, turning it into a living, breathing, four-legged surveillance device that could just, wander right into the middle of a secret meeting.
And listen, this wasn't just some gadget you strap to a collar. Oh no, this was serious, complex surgery. Vets implanted a tiny microphone right in the cat's ear canal, a radio transmitter at the base of its skull, and they even wove a super-thin wire antenna into its fur. A small battery powered the whole thing. They had literally created a cyborg cat.
So, what do you think a program like this costs? Well, declassified reports show the CIA spent about 5 years and around $20 million on Project Acoustic Kitty. Remember, that's 1960s money. To put that in perspective for you, that's well over $180 million today. All of that to build the perfect spy that purrs.
So they had the money, they had the advanced surgical tech, they had a whole team of dedicated specialists working on this. But they had overlooked one fundamental mission-critical flaw in their entire plan.
And here's where it all falls apart. They designed this perfect piece of surveillance technology, this incredible listening device, but they put it inside a cat. The CIA wanted a disciplined, focused agent, but what they got was, well, a cat. An animal motivated by naps, snacks, and a complete and total indifference to international espionage.
You can imagine the training was just an absolute nightmare. I mean, how do you stop a cat from just wandering off? How do you overcome its hunger drive? How do you command an animal with the attention span of, well, a cat? For years, the team was fighting this losing battle against the very nature of their own secret agent. But, against all odds, the team eventually felt like they'd made enough progress. So after 5 long years, millions of dollars, and countless hours trying to train the untrainable, the first fully equipped feline agent was finally ready for its first mission. Okay, so picture this. The scene is a park, right here in Washington, D.C. The targets are 2 guys sitting on a bench, just part of the test. And nearby, you've got this van packed with anxious CIA handlers and all their fancy listening gear. They open the door, and they deploy their secret weapon. So the highly trained $20 million spy cat, it takes a few steps out of the van, ambles into the street, and is immediately hit and killed by a taxi. The entire mission was over in less than 60 seconds. Just spectacular failure.
And that was it. That was the end. There was no let's try that again, no second attempt. In that one swift, tragical moment, the CIA's Directorate of Science and Technology scrapped the entire project right there on the spot. It was a complete and total bust.
So what's the takeaway from all this? The story of Acoustic Kitty, it's more than just a funny anecdote. It is a perfect snapshot of that Cold War mindset, an era of such intense paranoia and ambition that literally no idea was too bizarre to try. It's a legendary cautionary tale about the limits of technology when it clashes with the simple, unpredictable nature of life itself.
The files on Project Acoustic Kitty, they were finally declassified back in 2001. But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this is the story they were willing to let us see, what other, even stranger projects are still locked away in those top-secret vaults?